The petrol prices are rising, stock markets is falling, and your EMI are not coming down. Now normally, you'd blame inflation or your country's economy, right? Now here's the surprising part. This might have nothing to do with your country at all. The real reason could be a conflict happening thousands of miles away. Right now, tensions involving Israel, Iran, and the United States are starting to impact global markets. And here's the part most people don't understand. And what I'm about to show you could actually change how you manage your money over the next few months. There's a hidden chain reaction that connects global conflicts directly to your personal finances. Hi, I'm Aarav Mehra, and in this video, I'll show you exactly how this works. And more importantly, what you should actually do to protect your money. Now I know what you might be thinking. This is happening far away, so why should it matter to you? Fair question. The thing is, you don't feel these events directly. You feel them through your daily expenses. You feel it when petrol gets expensive, when groceries cost a little more, when travel becomes costly, and when your monthly budget starts feeling tighter without any obvious reason. The reason all of this happens comes down to oil, and more specifically a route called the Strait of Hormuz, which carries a huge portion of the world's oil supply every day. When tensions rise in that region, markets don't wait for things to actually go wrong. Even the fear of disruption is enough to push oil prices up. And once oil prices go up, it slowly starts affecting everything else. Transport becomes expensive. Companies spend more on logistics. Food prices increase. Airlines raise ticket prices. And over time, you start noticing that your overall cost of living is going up. Not in one big jump, but gradually. Which is actually worse because it quietly eats into your savings. And this is where it gets a bit more serious. Because at the same time, inflation starts rising. And when inflation rises, central banks usually delay reducing interest rates. So what you end up with is a situation where your expenses are increasing, but your EMI is not coming down. And that combination puts real pressure on your finances. Now here's where most people make a mistake. They see all this happening, they see markets reacting, and they panic. They stop their investments, they sell assets at the wrong time, or they just sit in cash because it feels safer. It feels like the logical thing to do, but in most cases, it ends up hurting more than helping. A better approach is actually much simpler and more practical. First, focus on what you can control. You can't control oil prices or global conflicts, but you can control your spending. This is a good time to just be a little more mindful about expenses and avoid unnecessary spending. Second, make sure you have an emergency fund. When things become uncertain, having a few months of expenses saved gives you stability and peace of mind, which is honestly underrated. Third, don't stop investing just because markets are volatile. Volatility is normal, especially during global events. And if your investments are for the long term, reacting to short-term news can do more harm than good. And finally, stay diversified. Don't depend on one single type of investment. Spreading your money across different assets reduces risk and helps you stay stable, even when markets move unpredictably. If you think about it, global events like this don't directly hit your bank account in one go. They move through a chain: oil, then inflation, then interest rates, and eventually your monthly finances. So instead of reacting to headlines, it's much smarter to focus on your financial habits and decisions, because that's where you actually have control. So yes, what's happening right now between Israel, Iran, and the United States is important. But what matters more is how you respond to it financially. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Wealth Atlas Global. I'm Aarav Mehra, and I'll see you in the next one.